I'm Jeff Paur, Senior Writer for RealTime Fantasy Sports. Welcome to another edition of RTSports Weekly here on my live Twitch stream, which is Jeff J Paur 18. If you want to do it, watch it live, it's J Paur 18. Or I post it to our YouTube channel as well when I'm finished with this broadcast. But it is live every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I love doing it. This is everything RealTime Fantasy Sports. We talk about stuff going on the site. Our contest, our big money contest, our fantasy championship, best ball championship. Look at our real-time fantasy sports championships as well. I pick a color each week, or I go over our syndicate leagues, which are our high-stake games. So a lot of fun, the real-time fantasy sports weekly. I enjoy doing this every week. I'm just trying to do something for all of our community out there because we really enjoy interacting with people. So if you ever have any questions as well, post them in the chat. I'm happy to answer anything on there. So if you have questions about the week, start sits, questions about the site, whatever, feel free to post that in the chat. You can also hit me up on Twitter. It's at Jeff Paur. That's my Twitter account. Or you can email me. It's jeff@rtsports.com. So you can hit me up all sorts of different ways with any questions you might have also. So let's get into these news and notes here at Real-Time Fantasy Sports. Big thing right now, if you're in a trading league, the trade deadline is this week. So if you want to make any trades, I know very popular our trading leagues are, but if you're in one of those leagues, the trade deadline ends this week. So you have to make those trades now if you want to get them done before the playoffs. So this is the last time you can do it. I just want to do a quick reminder for everybody out there in trading leagues. This is the last week for that. Also, fantasy baseball leagues. We are drafting fantasy baseball leagues for 2022. Right now, all different sorts of formats out there. But I wanted to talk about one that's new, a new format that we're doing this year. It is called Draft and Hold, as you can see right here on the screen. It's Draft and Hold Fantasy Baseball. These are huge rosters, 50 players on your roster, so it's like having your own Major League Baseball team with deep rosters. You're going to have to be drafting guys you would never think about drafting on your teams in standard leagues. But in this one, 50 players on your roster, 5x5 scoring, weekly lineups. We have all sorts of different drafts. You can do them live, so if you want to do the whole draft at once, you can do that. Or you can do our slow drafts. We have 2-hour, 4-hour, 8-hour drafts, so you don't have to be in the room for the entire amount of the draft. You can just go in when your pick's up. So that's a good feature, especially for a league like this where it's 50 players you're drafting. But if you want to do it all at once, you can do that as well. Look at our lobby, our baseball lobby page. You can see all those different times, different formats as well. But this is a new draft that we're doing this year. It's Draft and Hold Fantasy Baseball. We're very excited about it. It's something our users have been asking for, and we listen. So as always, if you ever have any suggestions or anything for the site, email support@rtsports.com. You can email me as well if you'd like, jeff@rtsports.com. So that's our new baseball league this year. It's called Draft and Hold. As you can see, we have all sorts of different other leagues as well. Best Ball Championship, our Real-Time Fantasy Sports Baseball Championship, Big League, Triple Play, head-to-head stuff, Dime Best Ball. You know, we have our famous Best Ball drafts as well, our Draft Masters. So all different formats to play in for fantasy baseball this season here at Real-Time Fantasy Sports. So that's exciting stuff, our new Draft and Hold Fantasy Baseball. Also, I want to mention next week, Thanksgiving. Looking forward to that. I love Thanksgiving, one of my favorite holidays. Sit back, eat a lot of food, watch some great football. Should be some good games once again. And if you want to play fantasy football, we will have our annual Turkey Bowl shootout next week. This is 100% payback. So it's a contest that on the day of Thanksgiving. That's just those games is what it entails. I'm going to bring up the page here so you can see it. This is not the official page because it's not open yet. You can start signing up next week, but I wanted to give you an idea of what this contest is all about. So it's a Turkey Bowl shootout. As you can see here, it's 100% payback. 500 team limit. It sells out every year. I guarantee it's going to sell out. First place, $1,000. Second place, $500. Third place, $500. $250 for fourth, $250 for fifth, and then 6th to 30th pays out $100. But this is the Turkey Bowl shootout. It sells out every season. A lot of fun, 100% payback. So we don't keep any of this. It's kind of a thank you to all of our users out there for playing with us here at RealTime Fantasy Sports. And I would definitely get involved with that. I didn't have that screen up there. You can see it now. This is the Turkey Bowl shootout. You can see these different payouts here, though, but it's 100% payout. You just pick your lineup from the games that day. Simple PPR scoring. You can pick any players you'd like from any team. So if you want to pick them all from, similar teams, you can go for it if you think they're going to have a good showing, like the Bills and Cowboys play that day. Those are probably the two highest scoring teams, but if you want to differentiate, you can do that as well. And we're going to have other contests, too, for Thanksgiving, DFS stuff as well, so keep an eye out for that. But the Turkey Bowl shootout, very popular on our site. And once that opens up, I would suggest you get in that sooner than later because it's going to sell out. All right, let's talk about our Did You Know section. So every week, I talk about something on our site maybe you weren't aware of. Did you know? This week, I'm going to talk about something because this actually came up a couple times recently. So you can hide teams on your home pages here at RealTime Fantasy Sports. So if you have a lot of teams on our site, all different, formats we have, whatnot. So if you're in like a shootout contest which ends after 3 weeks, and you don't want to see that on your home pages anymore, you don't have to. So there is a section here. I'm going to pull it up so you can see it, and I'll walk through how you can hide a team on our site. So let's go here. Let's transition over. So this is my information. If you go in here and you go under your name, so mine's Power 18, and then you go to My Info. This is where all this is. And if you scroll down on the right-hand side, it says your teams at the bottom. So it says My Season-Long Teams, and you can see all my teams listed here. And then you have this little hide feature. So I can hit hide, and it says this team has been hidden from display. So you can do that, and you can see the teams that are hidden and not hidden. So you can just scroll through and do that. So if you don't want to see a team anymore, say you have something old in there, or like I said, you're in the shootout contest and you don't want to deal with that on your home pages anymore. You have a lot of teams, so you don't have to look at them. You can hide them. It's a feature. You go under Info, under your name here. I'll click on it again so you can see, and then you scroll down under the season-long teams, and you can hide teams in there. So kind of a neat little feature we have on our site so you don't get too jumbled up, and if you want to get rid of stuff, you can definitely keep your homepage a little cleaner. So that's our Did You Know section for this week. You can hide teams on your home pages. All right, let's get into the championships. Fantasy Championship. I want to get in that one first, show you who's winning it. I actually believe it's the same leader as last week. Let me pull it up here, and you can see who is now leading the Fantasy Championship. And that is Richard Cranium III. I believe he was winning last week as well. He has about a 3-point lead over the Islet team. Then Chad Schrader has 2 teams up there now. He had one up there all along, but now he has a second. So he has a team in 3rd and 4th. He's a great fantasy owner. Magneto's up there in 5th. Terry012 in 6th. Duckman73, he's been up there as well. He's in 7th. Foosball is in 8th. AC Fantasy Sports in 9th. J. Perrick 13 and 10th. So the Richard Cranium team is now leading the Fantasy Championship right now. Slim lead though, just 3 points. But like I said, he was leading last week as well, I believe. So he's hanging on, doing a good job. Let's take a look at his team, see how he did last week. Let me pull that up for you so you can see his roster, and we can take a look at that. His name's Karush Shamlu. I apologize, Karush, if I butcher your name. I probably did, and unintentional, but Richard Cranium is his team name. He's 9-1, scored 139 points last week. He had Jalen Hurts, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, Cooper Kupp, Michael Gallup, Deebo Samuel, TJ Hawkinson. So he's being led right now by Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel. Those guys are having just monster seasons, and that's why he is first overall in the Fantasy Championship. Unfortunately, as Aaron Jones, that's going to hurt. He does not have A.J. Dillon as a backup. He has Robert Woods as well, another guy that's out for the year. So we'll see what he's made of now because he's got some tough decisions the coming weeks because of injury. He has Jamar Chase too, so really good receiving core. But that running back spot's a little bit of a concern after Austin Eckler right now. So he's got some mixing and matching to do. We'll see if he's able to hold on to the lead in the fantasy championship. But good work for him for leading after 10 weeks of action. Let's look up the best ball championship now. While I'm doing that, as I said, if you ever have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat here. Happy to answer them. Here's the best ball championship. Right now, the leader is a new one. It's Amy and Mark, and it's Bino Gino. That is the team name. This is a new one, and he's up by 13 points over Malins, who's been up there all season long. Keith Stone's in third. Stroudley in fourth. That's a new name as well. Malins in fifth. Bella Star in sixth. That name's been up there as well. AC Fantasy Sports, he's been up there. Then EC Zombies in eighth. Beach Football ninth. Mensa Ball 10th. So Malins has two teams in the top 10 again. We have a new leader, Amy and Mark. That's a new one. I haven't said that name yet this year, and he's leading now, or he or she. It says Amy and Mark. We can take a look at it now. Let me pull up his team. We can see what his roster consists of, how he got to the top. So here's his roster. Derek Carr, Leonard Fournette, A.J. Dillon. So that's a big one for him or her. Like I said, I don't know the team name here, and I apologize if it's a female or if it's a group ownership because it says Amy and I can't remember what the other name was now. Regardless, good-looking team. Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel. Common theme here, Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel. That was on the fantasy championship team as well. And then this team has Justin Jefferson as well. Three really good receivers. A.J. Dillon, who could do well the next couple weeks with Aaron Jones out. Derek Carr was the quarterback this week, but Matthew Stafford, Tom Brady on the bench. Alvin Kamara on the bench as well. Darrell Henderson, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Mike Williams. This is a really good team. I'm kind of surprised I haven't mentioned it yet, but this team could be here to stay. Really good lineup here. Bino Gino, great work on leading the fantasy championship after 10 weeks of action. Let's look at an RTFFC this week. I am going to look at the Orange Division. So let's pull that one up. And here's the Orange Division. That is a team name that is all letters. I'm not going to read them all, but the team's 10-0. Good work. 1,513 points, roughly, 60-plus points in the lead over the second-place team, which is Griffin's 11. Then we have D. Costner, 21 in third. Swift Beast in fourth. Jay Learn in fifth. K-Boz in sixth. Griffin's 11 has two teams up here in the top 10. One in seventh, one in second. Brad Naylor in eighth. Bengal Boy in ninth. And Steel 24E in 10th. So these are all new names to me. Right now, the team leading it's the IFB team. That's as far as I'm going to get with that name because I'm not going to read all those letters. Let's take a look at that team. See how they're leading the RTFFC Orange. See what is going on with this roster. Let me pull it up here. And there we go. It is Brian Epstein, so that's a lot easier to say. He is leading. He won this game last week, 143-77. Matthew Stafford, Austin Eckler, Dearness Johnson, James Robinson, Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel. So Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel were on all three of our leading teams. Quite the theme there. So if you have Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, you're obviously doing very well. And all of these teams leading these three championships I mentioned today had those guys on their roster. Darren Waller on this roster too. The bench, Carlos Hyde, Devonta Freeman. So this running back is actually pretty good with Eckler and James Robinson. Then you have a good third with some guys who are filling in for injured players. Receiving core really good. Antonio Brown's on the bench. He's banged up. DJ Moore on the bench as well, kind of underperformed lately. Cortland Sutton, Christian Kirk, Pat Freiermuth as his backup tight end. So good-looking roster for Brian Epstein's team. He's leading RTFFC Orange. So those are all the three championships. I went over them all. All three teams had Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel. I hope you have those guys on your team because they are lighting it up this year. I just talked about Cooper Kupp in my article. I released today my lineup prep article. He is having some sort of season. It is crazy good. It might be the best fantasy season ever for a receiver if he keeps his current pace. He is just posting huge numbers. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep it up. All right, I don't see any questions in the chat. As always, like I said, you can hit me up on Twitter. I do a Twitter chat tomorrow where I dedicate an hour of my time on Thursdays to answer any questions from all of you out there. So I do that at this same time, 1 p.m. Eastern, to 2 p.m. Eastern. You can hit me up on there, or you can email me as well, jeff@rtsports.com. All right, this is my episode of RT Sports Weekly this week. Thanks to everybody out there for watching. Really appreciate it. I look forward to doing it again next week, and good luck in all of those Week 11 games. Hope you come out on top. Have a great day.